I'm only getting one sentry failure.
Yeah, I was getting combinations of those two things. We're at the Beck Scrum. It's Sam and Michael, and after a busy few days, we're back to just the two of us. Yeah, so we have been looking. We did a review of the website one board, and we focused in on an Agile bot story that we thought might be an easy thing to knock off, and it's turned out to be a bit more complicated than we expected. Your thoughts, Michael?
I don't really have any thoughts.
Yeah, so we'll to expand on that. Yeah, we're looking at the Agile bot and how it's pinging different Slack channels, and yeah, looking at knock and yeah, trying to get the test environment set up correctly, and so on and so forth. Raul is here. Hey, Raul, how are you doing?
Hey guys, hi Sam, Michael. How you guys doing?
Hey, how are you? Good.
What's going on? What's going on with you?
Not much. Yesterday, today I've been busy with Craft Academy as usual. And yesterday evening I looked at, I had some pending stuff on develop that I pushed to staging. So I'll push them up to, I'll run some more tests today on staging and push them up to production if all is good.
Good show.
For website one, that is.
Oh, good show. Excellent.
So
and nothing blocking you?
nothing blocking me at the moment.
Good show. Yeah,
I don't know if there were any pull requests today, but I'll check them out and see. No,
I don't think we've done. No, what have we got? No, I mean, Sash has this one that's still like I'll make it don't work in progress because that's what it is. But I guess the other, how are things going with your bits and pieces? You've got this open pull request, investigate the test coverage, and was there a separate bits and
I started looking at it again, when was it, this weekend, but then I got sidetracked by something else and don't finish it off.
No worries.
I'll try and finish it off as soon as I'll try and finish it off sometimes.
Great.
Yeah.
Great, thanks. So what was I going to say there? I was going to say that, yeah, well, so I think we kind of did like the review of the board. I mean, partly also trying to think about what were the important things going forward. Just from your point of view, would you say that there's a particular focus on the main website, things that it needs, things that like are deficiencies from your point of view? Like there's clearly so many things that one could be doing. I just wondered if you had any insight into like what would be the key changes going forward from your point of view.
Are you guys done working on the event stuff right now?
I would say no. I mean, this is the thing: is there's kind of like there's continued polishing that could go on the events. There's like on the projects, on the users and the karma, and it could, there's work that could be done on every part of the site. I guess it ends up being more a question of, what is the major pain point that people are encountering when they use the site.
So I think two key things here is probably the landing page itself and the project page that needs some work. I don't know which part we want to start off with, but those two, in my opinion, are some of the stuff we should be looking into.
Yes, I totally hear that. I feel like I like individual things from various people at the time. I think people are not finding it easy to find kind of the information that they want about projects, or like we've got this big list of projects here, many of which are very inactive, and anyway, so yes, I think so. Cool, good to have your input on that. Well, I guess that's our Scrum, unless there's anything else that we need to coordinate.
Yeah. I'll submit a pull request shortly for some code climate configuration files.
Okay.
So they have a new things where they share my screen. Our code climate thing dropped considerably a few years ago on website 1. So they've introduced this new build thing that's sort of like things on every pull request and every branches on the repository.
Oh, right.
So you get things like so Breakman is they run Breakman and tell you if there's some if there's some security flaws on your application, bundle it will check the version on your on your gem file, the version of the gems you're using, and tell you which one you need to update and stuff like that. So I think all of that is now integrated into the whole process, and they have some linting as well, like Hookup and ESLint.
Yes, I see. Now that you draw my attention to it, I see. Yes, it's dropped down to quite low. Are you saying? And they're doing all branches in the repo. So is having our legacy branches causing problems for us?
No, the file that is causing problem for us at the moment is jQuery. This is the file that's like giving us troubles at the moment. I think in the config file there should be a way to exclude that specific files from.
Is there like a reason why we have our own jQuery file as opposed to like loading it off a CDN?
I do not know. I do not know why we have this file in here.
And where is that file? Is it in vendor or something?
It's in public JavaScript. All of these files are in public JavaScript.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if we're using any of these at the moment on the site, but
right. Okay. Well, I think, yeah. I mean, rather than just exclude it, it might be at least. I just open a ticket to kind of like, oh, that's interesting. Yeah. I mean, we could. Bleh. You know, we don't. Yeah, I mean, I guess all sorts of things could break, couldn't they? But yeah, it would at least be nice to see if we could just use the version of jQuery off a CDN.
Right.
Okay. Yeah, go on.
At least for now, in the first instance, I'll just download this configuration file for Code Climate and submit the pull request. Yeah, sure. For that. Then whether we exclude this file or figure out a better way to include it in the project, we can do that.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of like by having it on the JavaScript, like we're increasing the load of our server when it's the kind of thing that will already be cached for people's browsers off the CDNs. So okay, cool. Good to know. I guess I was going to say, since we're here, I mean, as we've evolved the project, we've stopped having our regular team meetings on website 1, and we've kind of moved to this, trying to get the voting done asynchronously. We were sort of had the idea that like Friday we would regularly meet in the Beck Scrum. That sort of hasn't happened. I don't know if that's any particular big deal. I get the sense from Michael's very happy not to have big meetings. I'm also quite happy not to have big. Are you missing having big meetings, Raoul?
Been busy this past week, so that's why I haven't joined any of them. So.
No, and then I don't mean to put any pressure on you for that. It's more the question of like going forward. Do you feel that there's something that's I think actually
you feel like you're missing out?
Yeah, like just
not really, because I mean we still have like we had the voting that was happening at least synchronously until last week. I don't know what happened to that, but I still get to catch up sometimes from the Slack channels and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So, that's.
Well, that sounds good. Yeah, I mean, I think that I've kind of like I've kind of got async voting for fatigue. Go on, Michael.
I wonder though. Let me see. How many people are really voting on our stories?
Well, we've got
me, Sam, myself, and
there's the three of us. I mean,
Ed Milson.
Ed Milson is the one who's involved. I mean, and there's some little tinklings from other people. I mean, I think what it would be good.
I feel like the one thing it has done though is it's brought us less in contact with people that aren't like seriously working on the site.
Right, you mean that like
I feel like in the past when we ran our meetings on Friday,
right,
lots of people would show up for that.
there was definitely a couple of people. I think
They
Nitish
would show up at different points and then like kind of right. And then I think Nitish did some stuff too.
Yeah, Nitish, and there was another. I've forgotten his name now.
Sure.
There was. I mean, Nitish is still signed up as a premium member, and I think he's actually moving to the States now. I think there's an advantage of having, if you have a regular meeting, people will kind of turn up and drop in. I mean, it was that, I forget the name of the guy now, but he was regularly coming and occasionally doing things. But I mean, there's this thing for the amount of time that you spend in the meeting, like for how much time people get involved.
You're talking about Puneet.
Puneet, that's right, Puneet. Yes. But I think both Puneet and Nitish contributed a certain amount, which was very, very welcome.
But then I feel like after we got rid of the meetings, Puneet kind of drifted away. I don't know whether that's
yeah. I mean, he had been saying I think he'd been like just hanging out in our normal pairing sessions and scrums and so on. He spoke to me directly on Slack to say he got very busy and was hoping to get more involved again in the future. I think it would be, what I would love to see is us having, to have the asynchronous voting being like a regular and ongoing thing. And I've been trying to get that done in async voting and local support and website one. And I've been trying to encourage other people to get involved in taking the initiative on the votes. And in particular, sort of like an async vote, some people are saying like, oh, I don't know what to do. And I kind of wrote them a flow diagram today that said basically like, don't know what to do. If there's an open pull request, read it and add comments. If there's a story that's estimated, in the ready column, you can start working on it. If there are no stories that are there and no one else who's working on stuff that you want to join in with, take a story off the backlog and run an async vote on it. And so, I guess what I would love to get to the point was where async voter was just like sort of pushing, whenever one vote finished, it would grab, even at random, the next item off our backlog and get us kind of voting on it. It sort of requires, but it'd probably be, a month or so before we have that kind of seamless integration working. I feel like the async voting in the channel has the potential to, get, like, we've got, not maybe Sasha because he's not very Slack oriented, but there's a guy, Ivan, who, is getting set up with, like, I think if we have that regular activity in the channel, that's another way of, bringing people in without having the meetings.
Okay.
Yeah. But so I'll try and start a vote maybe, Raoul and Michael, obviously, if you can start votes on things when there isn't a vote going, I think that's to our advantage. But I'm happy, if we want to try and have a regular meeting again at some point, it's good to experiment.
Sure. We can plan one if it's critical.
Yeah, let's see. I'm keen to give see how much progress we can make with async. Anyway, yeah, that's definitely our Scrum. I will stop the broadcast and go and make a cup of tea. I guess, Michael, did you want to carry on working on this Agile bot thing?
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah. I wonder what the good next step is.
I noticed that I had put in place allow unmocked false in the knock with regards to Slack.
Uh-huh.
So that might explain part of the difference.
Where does that allow unmocked false go? Oh, in the
3.
Oh, you've got I see that, yeah.
But I'm not sure whether it's acting exactly how we think it is, but I think that might be.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, one option is just kind of to ignore it, right?
Yes, I mean we could. Yeah, I guess the simple thing to finish up the ticket is just to do to make the change as we expect and move on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, well, I'm gonna make a cup of tea, and I will be back.
All right. Bye.
Good to see you,
Okay.
Ralph.
I'll talk to you guys soon. Ciao.
Thanks.